I'm going to get going here so we have time. My name is Chris Quinlan, and I'm the president of Health Technology Professional Products, and that's a brand that has been around for almost 30 years now. And I'm here to talk to you guys today about the importance of sanitation. Even on this first slide, I want you guys to notice that there's a few terminology here that I want you guys to make a differentiation. There's a word called sanitizing up there, okay? There's another one, disinfecting, sterilizing. These are all terms that refer to the germicide part of your cleaners, and it's the levels of efficacy, they call that. So it's based on, you get a term, one of those terms, based on the number of germs your product kills. So we're gonna be covering that. So there's a difference between the term sanitizing, that doesn't mean cleaning, or disinfecting, that doesn't mean cleaning, or sterilizing, that doesn't mean cleaning. That's referring to the number of germs that the product is killing. So cleaning is actually the term used for physical removal of dirt and germs. So we're going to cover this and what the products do that you have available to you. I'm what's called an environmental sanitation consultant, okay? There's not a lot of people in our industry that talk about this, and what I do is I basically help people, I show them how to properly clean. Now, sanitation is extremely important for the health and well-being of ourselves, and it plays a part with hygiene and our immune system that determines whether we contract diseases and get sick, or how our facility looks. And sanitation is kind of an overlooked area. I laugh about the fact that I tell people I'm in the crappy end of the animal care industry. Everybody wants to be a pharmaceutical salesperson, but nobody wants to be a sanitation salesperson. And I do want you to know that my wife and I, we own a pet resort ourselves that does retail, grooming, daycare, and boarding. So the products that I recommend, we use ourselves. I started the animal care division of the company. My parents were the Air Chem Airwick people from 1958. And in 1989, I started the animal care division of the company. And what I wanted to do, my goal was to take the products that they use in human health care, the top of the line products, and bring them to animal care, but not just bring the products, bring the education, because it doesn't help to have a great product if you don't understand how the product works. And you gotta understand how the products work to get the best results, okay? So, again, I've been at this a long, long time. And I'm gonna have you guys just know right now in a nutshell, there's 3 products that I utilize in animal care. And I'm just gonna tell you what they are generically right from the get-go. I use a detergent disinfectant cleaner, okay? A detergent, what they call a 3D product, we're gonna go over that. It's for the bulk of the cleaning. One product for the bulk of the clean. It's a detergent disinfectant. Then I'll use a degreaser periodically for heavy buildup or where a detergent won't remove something, I'll have a degreaser. And then I'll use a bacterial enzyme. And don't worry, these products are in the presentation, but I just want to make sure that as we start, that you guys know that as a consultant, I want to recommend the fewest products possible. I want it to be efficient, so it takes as little time as possible. And we're going to recommend products that don't destroy your surfaces. But the 3 basic products that I utilize in animal care to keep the facilities clean and odor-free would be a detergent disinfectant for the bulk of the cleaning, a degreaser for detail cleaning when you have some kind of buildup or a surface. There's body oils that you get in these facilities that don't come off with the detergents. And I use a bacterial enzyme for odor control and drain maintenance. So if there's persistent odors in areas, I'll use a bacteria that gets rid of those odors safely. So I just wanted you guys to know that from the get-go. But again, my name is Chris Quinlan. I'm an environmental sanitation consultant. I'm with Health Technology, and I've been at this for almost 30 years. Okay, so again, what are we looking to do here? This class is to talk about how to get your clean results efficiently. Efficiently, to me, is for the least amount of time and money. Okay? I don't care if it's your time or you're paying an employee for their time. We're looking to get this done and get to our animal care, taking care of these animals and dealing with our customers as quickly as possible. So the cleaning, we're trying to get it done for the least amount of time and money. Okay? The goal is to create a healthy environment that the pet owners want to return to over and over again. We were talking about this briefly. The beautiful part of our business is that we're in a repeat business, okay? And you can actually build a repeat business up to maximum capacity and not even have advertising anymore. I've seen it happen, we've done it. We're blessed to be in the repeat business. And the only way we're gonna get people to come back is if we create a healthy environment for them and their pets to come to. When I think of pet retailers, I think of how much flooring they have, okay? Pet retailers have a massive amount of floor a lot of times, and that's one of their biggest areas to maintain. The other thing about pet retailers is they allow the pets to come in, okay? And they're on the floors. Now, I haven't seen too many of them wearing shoes or pants, so they're in direct contact with surfaces that we're supposed to be maintaining. So the floors is an area I'm going to come back to. Grooming shops, sanitation. Sanitation is going to determine whether there's infectious disease in your shop. You don't know. You're open to the general public. You don't know where the dog has been or the cat has been before it comes to your facility. So it's extremely important to perform proper sanitation techniques every day, all the time. Odor control. This is huge. You don't want a facility where people are turned away because of the odor. And you're asking yourself, what odor? But when people walk in the door, they go, there's an odor here. Well, you can become anesthetized to odors in your own facilities. And just because you don't think it smells, you want to pay very close attention to your clients and what they have to say, or if they've made comments. Have they made positive comments? Wow, it never smells it. I can't even tell you have animals. This place is so clean, I love it. Or have they made negative comments saying that, wow, there's an odor here, and I'm not sure how clean it really is. It's just like when we go in, if we rolled up into one of our rooms here at the hotel and there was a bad odor, I mean, you're gonna not necessarily return. So odor control is massive in the animal care industry. You gotta ask yourself, how does my facility look? How does it smell? Now, it's interesting. We were talking briefly at the beginning about cleaning compared to germicides, where it's the sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilization. Cleaning will determine how your facility looks, okay? Physically looks. If you're cleaning the surfaces, that means removing the dirt that is being brought in. Depending on what product you use and whether or not it has a germicide built into it, it's going to determine whether it smells. See, I learned early on in my career that if you cleaned surfaces that had odors on them with a cleaner that didn't have a disinfectant to it, it would still smell, even though it looked clean. And I've been in facilities today, there's products that are being sold today that they're great products for cleaners, but they clean the whole facility, and it looks visibly clean, but it still smells. And this many times is because the products that you're using either don't have a germicide built into them, or the type of germicide you're using loses its ability to kill germs over a period of time, and you're still using it. You see what I'm saying? That would be like the case with bleach. It loses its ability to kill germs quite quickly, but you're still using it. And the number one way that human beings can tell that there's germs present is with our nose, okay? And we want to be happy about that, because if we could see germs, we'd go running out of this room right now, because there's germs everywhere, okay? Luckily, most of the germs are good germs, okay? It's the bad germs that we're trying to get rid of. Now here's something we all need to know. How your facility looks and smells is determined by your level of sanitation. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, some people are very hygienic, some people are not. The more you brush your teeth, the less your breath will smell. The less you brush your teeth, the more your teeth will smell. Your level of sanitation, just like your level of hygiene, determines how you look and smell. So sanitation is basically the process of cleaning. And cleaning is the process of removing dirt and germs that are being brought into your facility every single day. When is a surface truly clean? A surface is truly clean when you have no dirt on the surface. It's free of dirt. It's free of germs. Okay, so you want to use a cleaner that has a disinfectant, a germicide component. It's free of odors. You want to remember, you don't want to use products. I've seen products like at Home Depot that have heavily perfumed, or what I would call the pine sol effect. Okay, they're kind of poor disinfectants, weak disinfectants, but they overcompensate with the perfume. They used to say, I used to be told, if it smells like crap and you make it smell like roses, you just made it smell like crappy roses, okay? Okay? And here's the other thing too that we want to watch out for in the animal care industry especially, is that the animals, I'm told, can smell thousands of times better than us. So you don't want to use heavily perfumed products. It could be extremely irritating to the animals. And I'm here to tell you, you might like a particular scent, but it might make me ill, okay? So that's another reason that you gotta be careful. You really shouldn't have to use deals on the wall that are controlling odors or candles or any of this kind of stuff if you perform proper sanitation. No insects, can't have insects, okay? They're disease-carrying little creatures. And we added this one, no hair. You can't have hair. I mean, ringworm, that's where you're gonna find ringworm, is on hair. So you gotta make sure all the hair is cleaned up. Which, when we did the floor care company for animal care facilities in the 90s, I think half those facilities hired us just to suck up all the hair. Because we would go in and suck up all the hair in these facilities. And here's the one this is the one that I think is super important to talk to you guys about. Have you ever had anybody tell you that their cleaner doesn't need to be removed or rinsed off? Has anybody ever told you that? People say it all the time. You don't have to rinse it. Now, a cleaner, I want you guys to know, the cleaners are designed to be removed. What they do is you put them onto a surface. This could, 409, when any of the cleaners, anything that says cleaner on it or detergent on it. In the veterinary industry, there's a company that they're selling a detergent disinfectant, but they're telling the public that you don't have to rinse it because the active ingredient turns to water. Well, I'm here to tell you the reason this is so important, it's because the detergent is what's going to cause an irritation on your animal, not the germicide. Okay? It's just like if I didn't wash the detergent out of my shirt completely, the skin on the bottom of my arm would become a rash. So that's what I was referring to, like the floors in a retail. If you're mopping, or any of your businesses, if you're mopping the floors with a product that has a lot of detergent to it, and you're not picking that cleaner back up, you're just leaving it all over the floor or the tabletops for those animals to come in contact with. And it's the detergent that will cause skin irritation and problems with the animal. on their tummies or their private parts. So a clean surface doesn't have any chemicals left behind. You know, so if anybody ever tells you again that their cleaner doesn't need to be rinsed or removed, then ask them what happens to it. Because cleaners or surfactants, what they'll do is when you spray them on, they'll penetrate the surface, emulsify the dirt and germs, and wait for you to wipe it off. You know, paper towel is a removal, or dry towel. Rinsing in a kennel, if you guys have kennels outside, where you apply the cleaner, scrub it up, rinse it out. It's kind of funny when I think about this because it reminds me of the kid toothpaste that you don't have to rinse out, right? Then they just swallow. We all rinse our mouths out because what you're using is just like a toothpaste. It's a cleaner as well as it kills germs, and you're supposed to scrub it up and rinse it out. Makes sense, you know what I mean? Because in healthcare, what I've been doing in animal hospitals is teaching them proper techniques for doing floors. Did you know that most hospitals, they just take the clean solution, one bucket, and smear the solution all over the floor? They just mop with one bucket, right? Well, into the cleaner disinfectant, back into that bucket, all over the floors. All they've done is put that dirty solution all over the floor. But they think they're cleaning the floor. But we'll talk about a technique for floors here. So those are the 5 ways, we wrote them down there, are the 6 ways that the surface needs to be clean, truly clean. Getting the results you're looking for does start with the right cleaner. So that's the right terminology that you're looking for. You're not looking for a sanitizer, you're looking for a disinfectant cleaner deodorizer. You want to use a combination. And you want to use one that is designed as a combination product. Please don't make your own combo products, okay, where somebody's taking taking Dawn dish soap and adding bleach to it and think they have a detergent, a cleaner, disinfectant now. Because I'm sorry to tell you that you no longer have a disinfectant once you've added bleach to cleaner. Because bleach is a disinfectant based on its pH, and once you mix it with a cleaner, or anything else, it's no longer anything, okay? So you need to know that. And although bleach, I must say, is absolutely used correctly, the strongest germicide you can find, it's very little chance it's going to get used correctly. It's just the chemistry of it's too difficult. You have to pre-clean prior to using it because any organics present, if you just use bleach water on a surface and it has blood, urine, fecal matter, dirt, no longer disinfects. Not only that, it's very difficult to have the proper amount of chlorine required to disinfect a surface. Bleach is more used as a sanitizer in food service, if anything, and maybe in laundry. But what you're looking for is a combination product that's a cleaner, disinfectant, deodorizer. If it says it sanitizes a product, that means it kills some germs. That's it. Sanitizers don't kill viruses. No viruses. So forget about killing a virus if you got a sanitizer. It's used for food service. Most sanitizers don't have a perfume or a detergent to them because they use it in food service. How they use sanitizers in food service. And in fact, if you guys do bowls, okay, this is how you should properly do bowls. A 3-sink tank. If anybody's ever worked in food service, they would be familiar with this. There's 3 tanks for doing dishes or dog bowls. The first one has dish soap in it for cleaning the bowl. The second one has water in it. The second tank has water to wash off the soap. The third one has a sanitizer in it that has no detergent or perfume, and you dip the bowls in that and you let them air dry. That's how they do it. Okay? And you can understand why they don't want a detergent or a deodorizer built into the sanitizer, because they dipped that was the last place they put the food dish, and then they let it air dry. So you don't want detergent on there. And sanitizers are mixed, at a much higher ratio, like a quarter of an ounce to a gallon of water or half an ounce to a gallon of water. These are sanitizers. But you need to know that sanitizer is more used for food service, not for environmental sanitation, which is what you guys are mostly working on. Disinfecting is what we're looking for. Disinfectant is the term you're looking for on your products. Disinfecting is killing 100% of the organisms that are in a state of growth, okay? Without getting too far into this, but disinfecting is what's used for environmental sanitation. So that's basically what you're looking for. Sterilizing is not even a consideration. Sterilization is used for anything that comes in contact with the inside of the body. Is anybody doing operations? Nobody's doing any operations? Okay, good. We don't need a sterilant, okay? Sterilizing they're much, much stronger. They're far too strong for our environmental sanitation applications. They're more costly and they're just not what's recommended for your application. Okay, here's some of the top criteria you want to have when choosing the right cleaner. First and foremost, never pick a product that is corrosive to your surfaces. We spent $30,000 on Kennels. There's no way I would ever spray a corrosive on that. In fact, what's recommended in veterinary medicine is beyond belief to me because they actually create surfaces that are non-disinfectable. The medical people do this because they're making recommendations and they don't have a background in environmental sanitation. I just want you guys to know in human health care, it's not the doctors nor the nurses that have anything to do with the sanitation at the hospital. It's the environmental services staff and the nurse of epidemiology, okay? And truly, in animal care, what's been rough is that we're listening to recommendations coming from people that don't have a background in environmental sanitation. So you gotta be careful. I'll tell you a quick story. Okay, that's a daycare facility, and she had a lot of wire cages that she would feed the animals in, and she had a lot of chain link, and when they first opened up, she had everything that she needed to maintain her facility. She had a detergent disinfectant that was effective against all the germs she needed to take care of at that facility. She had some degreaser for detail cleaning, and she had a bacterial enzyme that will control odors in areas that are tough to control odors in. Well, she had everything she needed when she started off. Well, a year or two later, the office asked me to drop by, and she immediately asked me if I knew somebody that could help her replace all her chain link and her cages. And I looked at everything, and it was all rusted. It was all corroded. And I look over to the left, and there was about 20 little bottles of bleach all over the floor. And I said, oh my God, why did you spray the bleach all over this stuff and now she needs to replace? And she said, well, the veterinarian said I had to do that. Well, I said, did the veterinarian read the label of the product that you're using over here that's probably better than what he's using in his own hospital to clean with? Never spray something you don't need to use corrosive, destructive cleaners. And bleach is the #1 in this industry that's not needed because there's tested and proven products. There's a whole slew of them on the market for you guys that are going to both clean and disinfect, but not corrode and destroy your cages, kennels, and all your surfaces. So I felt bad for her, but she was listening to the wrong advice. What I mean by stable is that we recommend products that have a stable active ingredient. There's products on the market today, anything that's chlorine-based, it has a very short shelf life. So once it's been made and manufactured, put on the shelf, it's only good for a matter of months. And then when you get, say, a bleach bottle, you mix it with water, it's only good for a matter of minutes, and you actually don't even know if it has enough of the chlorine in the solution to do what you need to do. Accelerated hydrogen peroxide is another one that we don't recommend because it loses its ability to kill germs after so many days, and you don't know if it's actually doing what you need it to do. So when I say stable active ingredient, I'm talking about a product that once you mix it, it doesn't lose its ability to kill germs or clean surfaces. The other thing I mean by that is that you don't want to use a product like bleach. You know, if bleach gets mixed with another cleaner, it could create a gas that kills you. Okay, if bleach water gets mixed with acid or ammonia or vinegar, I've heard people have vinegar in there, you know, that's acid, right? It'll actually smoke. And one breath you're going to the hospital, 2 breaths you're going to the morgue. I mean, that's how serious this is. And the other thing about bleach that you guys need to know is that if bleach comes in contact with enough urine or fecal matter, it'll create chloramine gases that can kill you too. So don't be pouring bleach down your drains because, quite honestly, there's no chemistry to it that's going to clear your drain. Okay? So it's very important that you guys use stable active ingredient products. Okay, effective in the presence of organics. What I mean by that is that you guys go and scoop in the kennels. We know that there's still a brown zone there, right? There's still some brown on the surface. So you want to use a product that is effective in the presence of organics. What you're looking for is what's called a 5% contamination claim. It's right on the front panel of products. This is the case with bleach. If there's any organics present, it creates a demand on the chlorine, which is the germicide. Now there's not enough free available chlorine to kill germs. So it's ineffective. When companies build products for this application, they understand that there's organics on surfaces, so they compensate for that. So you want to use one that's effective in the presence of organics, because we all know we have a lot of organics in these facilities, from dirt, urine, fecal matter, everything, blood. Okay, yeah, say on the tabletop and they're clipping blood. You can't use a detergent disinfectant to where the blood inactivates its ability to kill germs. Bad. So you're looking for 5% contamination claim. You need one that's effective in hard water. Where I live in Southern California, the water is extremely hard. So organics and hard water mess up germicidal cleaners, okay? And you want to look at the front panel. Usually it'll say on a good product, it'll say it's effective in up to 400 parts per million hard water. So that's a determining factor. This is all talking about the efficacy. The other thing is too, you want to use one that smells good and lets the customers know we've just cleaned, but is not overpowering, okay? Because you don't want to give it what I call the pine sol effect as soon as you walk in. In your facilities, you know, I mean, have you ever walked into a food establishment and had that just overpowering swisher smell coming out of the bathroom or whatever? I mean, I can't even eat my food at that point. Maybe not as critical in animal care, but I believe it is, because we've walked into facilities that you can tell that they're just trying to mask the odors. And your customers know it, okay? So you want to stay away from those. These are the ones that we recommend that you avoid. We recommend that you avoid bleach, acids, hydrogen peroxides, glutaraldehyde, phenolics. These are all products that shouldn't be in an animal care facility. We recommend Quaternary germicidal cleaners. Now, luckily, I mentioned I have a janitorial book. There is almost 40 pages of cleaners and disinfectants. I would say 80% of them are Quaternaries. When you go to the grocery store, your disinfectants on the shelf, majority of them are going to be Quaternaries. So this is not a hard to find active ingredient. The funny thing about the Quaternary manufacturers, this is an active ingredient that we're recommending for your germicidal cleaner. is that they'll tell us that the Clorox company is their #1 customer. Because most of your Clorox disinfectants, I have some Clorox wipes in my room, they're quat. They're not chlorine. And the reason they're not chlorine is because the chlorine is not stable, you guys. They can't manufacture a product. They do have a couple on the shelf that do have chlorine. You know, they'll stabilize them with another ingredient. But the vast majority of germicidal cleaners, what's used in human health care, I would say you're looking at 80% plus is all quaternary disinfecting cleaners. And the reason is because they're safe. They're stable, okay? They carry great efficacy. And they mix well with cleaners. Because the reason we want to use cleaner combination disinfectants is because they're so much more effective. Because when you've got a cleaner penetrating the surface, emulsifying the dirt and germs out of surfaces, and then it's got that quat in there killing the germs, and it's waiting for you either to hose it out, wipe it off, just wipe it off, recovery, paper towel, dry towels, recovery, or rinse it in a kennel. But this is the type that we're recommending. Now what I'm going to compare right now is really quick is a reason to use ready-to-use products. You guys know what I'm talking about. Ready-to-use products are already diluted, they're in the bottle. You only want to use ready-to-use products when you have smaller areas to clean, okay? They're super convenient because you don't have to mix them, and they're usually properly labeled, you know? But they can be very expensive. You know, they can be very expensive. And here's the thing too, you want to make sure that you don't have too many cleaners because you have to have the safety data sheet in your place of business for every single cleaner that you have. That's why I want you guys to have as few cleaners as possible so that you don't have to have this whole paperwork mess that follows all these products that you have to have in your businesses. Most of our animal care facilities, we recommend concentrates to. We do recommend, like I said, the ready to use if you don't have a lot to clean. Say I went to a facility and you had a lot you didn't have much glass or much degreasing to do, so we would recommend just the detergent disinfectant, probably a concentrate if you have a lot to clean. And then for glass and the rest of it, we would probably just recommend a ready-to-use product because it wouldn't make sense to give you a concentrated gallon that makes 65 gallons of glass cleaner if you don't have that much glass clean. But the reason to use concentrated products is if you have a lot more to clean, you're cleaning every day. Concentrated products are more versatile because you can make them stronger or weaker depending on what your application might be. The reason you might ask yourself, how can they be more environmentally friendly? Well, remember, with ready-to-use products, every time you buy one, you're buying the bottle. You buy the bottle over and over and over again. And where does the bottle end up? In the landfill. Now, with concentrated products, you're using the same bottle over and over again. You're refilling the same bottle over and over again. So there's less post-consumer waste. And man, cost far less, that's no joke. I think on the average, if we're talking detergent disinfectant, 25 cents a gallon, what is that a quart? Is that glass cleaner, 25 cents a gallon? I mean, when you're mixing the concentrate with your water, it costs far less. That's an understatement. You know, I mean, everything's pennies per gallon now instead of dollars per quart. So it is a significant savings. When using concentrates, it can be problematic because you buy a concentrate and it's designed to make 60 gallons, 1 gallon, and Bob out back is making 5 gallons with it, okay? So if you are going to mix by hand, just a suggestion would be train one person to do it. You know, where they mix up all the diluted product in spray balls, and then that's enough for the week or for a day, and so on and so forth. But when multiple people are handling these cleaner concentrates, you inevitably lose so much product and time. It's just inevitable, no matter how much you train them to do it. We would recommend, and many companies have these, many companies have these, okay? But I highly recommend this to save time and to save your concentrate, and it increases safety and OSHA compliance. And I've come to the conclusion after all these years, this will cut your consumption in half. Absolutely, compared to allowing staff to do it by hand. Absolutely, this will cut it in half. I've seen it. Even in my own location at the Riverwalk Pet Resort, this is a kind of, I know how much product every month that the place will consume, right? Because we control it through devices like this. But we hired a new night guy, and all of a sudden we're going through 2 and 3 times the amount of product. And so I got upset, so I got him down in my office. I said, hey, what are you doing? He goes, well, I like the product the way it smells, so I add more to it. Okay? I said, no, don't do that. Use the dispenser, right? Use the dispenser. He goes, okay. So a month goes by. They're still using too much product, right? So I get him back down to my office, and I said to him, I said, are you using the dispenser? He goes, no, I'm not using the dispenser. He said, the dispenser's not doing it right. And I said, well, I'm sorry, you're fired. You're fired. And I let him go right there. Because the thing is that I'm more concerned with the guests at the pet resort, and if he's mopping with a solution that's too strong and not recovering the solution properly, okay, off the floors especially, then it could be harmful to the animals. And I need it done correctly, not just from an economic standpoint. I need it done correctly for the benefit of my guests, who mean more to me than anything else, okay? I mean, that's the whole thing. It's all about them. This is not compliant. You guys ready for this? In California, the fine for a secondary container not properly labeled is $1,000 per bottle. I don't believe anybody ever gets fined because they fix it. But that is actually the fine for not having the bottles properly labeled. So whatever brand that you guys use, make sure that the company provides you with free OSHA compliant labeling. Now, to be OSHA compliant, you got to have the name of the product on there, you got to have a phone number on there, and it's got to have the health and hazard on there, okay? But most companies should be able to provide you with not only the SDS sheet, the safety data sheet, they used to call them material safety data sheets, they're called SDS sheets now, but they should also be able to provide you with the OSHA required labeling, okay? And if they can't, I mean, demand it from them. If they're telling you the products, tell them, I need the labeling. Some companies have the bottles themselves that are labeled. Now I want to talk to you about the dilution of these concentrates. It really does make a big difference because you guys are familiar with Pet Edge. Everybody's familiar. I think it's Pet Edge. They carry a 256, Cherry 256, right? You guys seen this kind of stuff? They even have one that's 512. Now, Cherry 256, or you guys know what I'm talking about, that one on the Pet Edge magazine, it's a detergent disinfectant. Well, that means that the gallon will make 256 gallons of product for you. Whoa. You know, because that's what happens if you mix a ½ ounce to a gallon of water. 1 gallon will yield 256 gallons of product for you. And man, I thought that was pretty concentrated because a ½ ounce, you guys, is so little. But then they came out with one that's 512. That's double that. You only mix a ¼ ounce to a gallon of water. And what I want to show you right now is that the dilution, so if you have a product that you mix a ¼ ounce or ½ ounce to a whole gallon of water, that's going to make a different solution than one that you mix 1 ounce, 2 ounces to a gallon of water, 4 ounces to a gallon of water. How about Odoban, 8 ounces to a gallon of water? These are all going to make different solutions for you guys, okay? And so dilution makes a big difference in what you're creating that you're going to use and the ability of your detergent and your disinfectant and your deodorizer. So here's a chart that I came up with. And the first column is yield. So and the second column is dilution ratios. So if the product is mixed at a half an ounce to a gallon of water, that gallon is designed to yield 512 gallons of product for you. At a half ounce to a gallon of water, like your Cherry 256 or these other ones that they have in Pet Edge, that product is designed to make 256 gallons out of 1 gallon of product. Now, you see how this is working. 1 ounce, 1 gallon makes 128. 2 ounces, 1 gallon makes 64. If it's a 4 ounce per gallon product, 1 gallon makes 32. If it's 8 ounces, 1 gallon makes 16 gallons. If it's ready to use, 1 gallon is going to make 1 gallon. Now the cleaning strength. You can't get that much detergent in a quarter of an ounce. So when you mix a quarter of an ounce to a gallon of water, it's not going to clean a lot. It's still a disinfectant, but it's not going to clean a lot. You follow what I'm saying? Half ounce, same thing. 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 4 ounce. The stronger you make it, the better the cleaning strength. You follow what I'm saying? Ready to use cost changes, you know. The application. Now here's the thing. If I'm going to clean kennels, I recommend at least a 2 ounce per gallon product so that you have enough detergency to actually clean the surfaces. And you've got enough perfume, you know, in kennels, you know, you got a lot of defecation, you got the code brown going on when you get there, you know, for all our medical people. You know, you heard code blue, there's code brown. So you need something that's going to clean, right? So we recommend at least a 2 ounce per gallon product. Now for floor care, we recommend a half an ounce to a gallon of water because we don't want all that detergent all over the floors, right? You're doing the floors hopefully every day. And I'm really concerned at the very end of this presentation, we're going to talk a little more about the floors because in the animal care industry, they're on the floors. You know, if I was walking around barefoot on floors and there was some detergent or something on these floors, it could cause a problem on my feet. Okay, there are 2 other products really quickly that I felt it was necessary to recommend to you guys is degreaser, simply for detail cleaning. If you get heavier buildup, what happens in the animal care industry is the dog's coats are oily. And detergent disinfectants will remove standard soils, but if it's an oily buildup on a surface, you need a degreaser. We want you to strongly consider citrus-based degreasers because they're safe, they smell good, they're great for the drains, and they won't make the skin peel off your hands. Like some other types of degreasers that a janitorial outfit might recommend to you that's really made for automotive. You know what I'm saying? So citrus-based degreasers, and these are readily available, okay? But they work really well. They're safe. If you're on septic systems, there's no impact to your septic system. Safe, work well, smell good. That's why we recommend them. This is the other product. This is the only other product that we utilize. Everybody's heard of enzyme, but you got to have bacterial enzyme. And then here's another little twist to it. You got to have the right bacteria because they make products like this for grease traps at restaurants, and that bacteria wants to eat up grease, not poop and pee like what we've got, okay? You've got to have a product that's been designed for animal care. And here's the other thing I was going to tell you. When it's a hard, non-porous, washable surface, your detergent disinfectant is going to take care of any odors on that surface. But if the surface is porous, or soft, dirt, gravel, upholstery, clothing, carpeting, synthetic turf, the way to control odors is with a bacterial enzyme product. because the bacteria consumes up the odor-causing matter and gets rid of it. And because it's a bacteria, there's no environmental impact. Yay. You know what I mean? You can actually use bacterial enzymes right on the pet to de-skunk it. Won't harm fabrics or surfaces. The daycares, we'll tell them to have this in their buckets during the day because it's super safe. It's unsurpassed for controlling odors when there's 50 dogs in there, you know, doing their thing. And sure, it's a bacteria, so it's not killing germs, you guys, right? It's not killing germs for sanitation purposes. But you use the germicidal cleaner, the detergent disinfectant at night for cleaning. And then during the day, you use your bacterial enzyme. Unsurpassed, you guys. My parents in the airwick business, they didn't have a product like this. I couldn't believe it. And when I first started working, I've always had dogs. The first week I was in this, a dog came home with me from the shelter, you know. And in my backyard, it smelled like pee, and I'd try and use a detergent disinfectant. Wouldn't really do anything because it was in the backyard. Remember, detergent disinfectants for cleaning your hard surfaces, your floors, your cages, kennels, tables, work fine. But this was outside. It was gravel. And then I was introduced to this bacterial enzyme product. Astronomical how well it works for controlling odors. In fact, if anybody has synthetic turf, this is absolutely what you want to use on the synthetic turf. My wife's pet resort has had the synthetic turf out there for over 5 years. No smell. No smell, properly maintained. So those are the two other products. So you guys got that now. I just want to make sure. I recommend, after 30 years of cleaning, a germicidal cleaner, a detergent disinfectant. I recommend a bacterial enzyme for soft areas, outside areas. You want to notice as you walk up to your business to make sure it doesn't smell there, because a lot of times that's where the clients let their animals. I don't know about your place. I get to the pet resort with my dogs, first thing they do is before they walk in the door, they're like, oh. You know what I mean? So you want to make it so the first impression for your clients is not to walk up and they're like, wow, I wonder if Chris's dogs have been here. But that's a great product. Here's what I want you to know too, and this is what I wish I could get across to the medical community in our industry. Sanitation, you guys, is not about a product, okay? It's a process. And if you know what you're doing, my father told me that you could get the job done with almost anything if you know what you're doing, right? So it's not about a product. I want you guys to know that. You know, even though we sell the products, I mean, it's great to have the right products. It really is a big help. But sanitation is a habitual process that needs to be done every day. You know, I teach these classes. People ask me all the time, Chris, how often should we clean? Well, I don't know. How often do you think you should clean? What's your level of sanitation? You know, I'll never forget, I was at one of these conferences and there was a dental hygienist that was going into our business. And the that lady was cracking me up because she goes, I don't even bother to ask them if they floss their teeth anymore, she tells me. I don't even bother to ask them. I ask them, do you brush your teeth? You know, I mean, this is how it is. And everybody's level of sanitation or hygiene is going to be different. What I would recommend, you know what's funny to me too, is that the young people that come to work at our pet resort, they're all about animals. Then they find out being all about animals is all about cleaning up crap. You know what I mean? You know, I ask my kids, they work at the pet resort over the summer, right? And Connor and Krista come home and I go, hey, did you guys scoop some poop today? And they're all, I go, that is the legacy of our family, okay? You know, we're in the crappy end of this business and you get back there and scoop some poop. So anyway, you guys, it is really an everyday process. You know, the results that you're looking for, which is clean and odor-free in a healthy environment for your customers, is an everyday process. And how the cleaning is done is the single biggest factor. Because how it looks, you guys, as soon as you guys understand that that these products, like on the floors, see, I was taught a double bucket technique for doing floors in human health care. It's where the product is put down, it's allowed the contact time, you rinse the mop off, wring it out, and pick it back up. Because you know a mop is either going to release solution, pick up solution, if you wring it out, just like a sponge, right? Or just move solution around. And quite honestly, in my career, most animal care facilities, including all the hospitals, they just move solution around. They're just mopping with one bucket. And whatever the solution looks like in that bucket, after you've mopped all these areas, that's what you just left all over your floor. Okay? Now, I was taught the technique of double bucket for human health care, for disease control purposes. But when I had the floor care company for animal care facilities through the 90s, it reared its head again, this proper technique, because animal hospital, we just charged him $1,200 to strip and refinish his entire hospital, all the floors. You know, strip the wax off, refinish floors, look beautiful. He had light colored floors. Oh, I think it maybe was 5 weeks later, the doctor calls me up, he's all upset because his floors look dingy. And so I go to the floor guys, I go, hey, what's up? They go, have you seen what they mop the floor, how they mop the floors? I go, no, I'll go down there. So I tell my manager who was calling for the doctor, I said, can I come down and show you a technique for doing the floors? Because sure enough, they're mopping the floors with one bucket. You know, just like, I mean, you guys have seen this, right? Places, one bucket, mopping the floors, right? And so I go down there, I go, hey, can I show you a technique for doing the floors that'll keep them looking good? And it was taught to me for disease control purposes. And I tell them, here's a cleaner disinfectant, take the mop, something stuck. Come back to a second bucket. We like to use blue buckets for water only. Rinse the mop out, wring it out, so it's going to suck up solution now. The detergent disinfectant has penetrated, emulsified, dispersed soil, killing germs. You come back and you pick it back up. I showed them this technique. So we would like to strip the floors. We came in once a month to polish them up for these hospitals and other animal care facilities. But once a year, we would like to get our strip job in. I like that $1,200, right? Okay? So I call up. It's like a little over a year later, I go, hey, it's time for that strip job. He goes, oh, no, Chris. The floors don't need to be stripped. I say, why not? He said, ever since you taught us that mopping technique, the floors look awesome. Because guess what? In that mopping technique, they're recovering the dirt and germs that the cleaner that they put on the floor emulsified, right? But I can tell you for a fact, today, I would say 80% of your hospitals, vet hospitals, don't do it that way. They just mop. It's only because I haven't gotten to them yet. They need to know the proper technique for doing floors. And here's something else too. I want you to know that Quaternary germicidal cleaners, if they're not rinsed away, now I would tell people that they're designed to be removed because they're cleaners. But I'm trying to compete with other companies that are saying you don't have to rinse their disinfectant. Okay? Well, I used to say, hey, it's not going to be a big deal if you don't rinse it. I stopped doing that after we owned the pet resort because there was a black lab that his private parts were inflamed. You know what we determined that was? From too much soap on the floors. That's why we're going to come back to this floor thing. Cleaning protocol, that's the main thing. Come up with the cleaning protocol. Most places don't have any type of cleaning protocol. Come up with how you're going to go about doing the clean. I recommend you videotape it. Keep it simple. Okay, keep as few one-liners. Okay, and then take your phone and video one of your people doing it. And then show it to them every month. Because it's a proven fact that the corners get round after about 60 days. That's the key, because they're going to do it their own way. And that's especially with mixing the products too. I've been in hospitals where the techs are all arguing with each other about how it's supposed to be done. Understanding the way the cleaner works is super important. That's why I'm explaining to you how these detergent disinfectants work. You put them on, they emulsify, they're waiting for you to wipe them away, rinse them away, or pick them back up in a cleaning technique. You know, you guys do know that people working for you a lot of times don't even understand why cleaning is important. It's super important, and really I come from the healthcare standpoint. For the health and well-being of your customers, it's important. But the health and well-being of your business is important too. Because you want to remember that the top criteria that people use when choosing a place, same thing for us when we choose a hotel or it's how it looks and how it smells. And I just wanted to touch again on the floors and tell you how important it is to recover the cleaning solutions. Okay? I really want to stress that, you guys, because that's something that I've seen has been overlooked for many, many years. And I want to thank you for your time, and so many of you. I'm open to questions, but I want to thank you for showing up so early to a class on sanitation. I don't think there's ever been a class at Super Zoo on sanitation. And if you think that, write down in your evaluations if cleaning techniques or any of these things would be, another class would be good. You know, let them know. Let them know.